Hey everyone, this is Kevin Giebert, and today's episode is Moolaviemind, and I'm a financial planner based in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, and I'm also a author of Financial Photographs, How to Talk to Your Family About Money, and a singer-songwriter for my album Unlock My Happy. And today we have, or I'd like to introduce to you, Susanne Sharrard. Susanne, thanks for joining us on Moolaviemind.
Thank you so much for having me.
So just tell our viewers and our listeners where you reside and what the work that you do. And it has the word mind in it.
Yes. So hello, everyone. My name is Susanne Sharrard. I'm in the Houston, Texas area, and my business is called Soul Fuel for Creative Women. I inspire creative women to transform their thinking, come into gratitude and happiness. We use art and yoga, and mindfulness is a part of my program.
What sparked you to get into the whole world of mindfulness? When I wrote the book above me, I know it's only a book, but it was about the reason why I wrote the book was when I was growing up, our family didn't have a lot of money. We didn't talk about money. Okay, we always had things that we needed. My parents always provided for us, but I wanted to create a book or a reason to discuss how to talk to your family about money. My mom was big on pictures, so I integrated the pictures. So how can, or basically, how do, why did you, I guess just the question is, why did you start, what sparked the start of your journey in the world of mindfulness and enabling you to offer this to the people you work with?
Well, that's a great question, and I love the background on what sparked you to write the book. So, about 3 years ago, I was walking my dog in the morning. His name is Max. I walk him every day. And I was just ignoring that little inner critic voice telling me that I'm not good enough, I'm not successful. And for the first time in my life, I stopped in my tracks and I said, but this is a lie because I do a lot of amazing things in my community. And I wonder why I talk to myself that way. I wonder why I've struggled with that my whole life. And by gosh, I'm going to figure out the answer to that question and I'm going to fix it. So that led me on a journey of health and wellness, becoming a yoga instructor, learning mindfulness, but facing my inner critic and using art to help me to do that because I'm a recovered negative thinker. And I just didn't realize how much I had been conditioned my whole life, conditioned through music, through peers, through the way I was raised, because my parents were probably conditioned. And, we just don't realize that when we're young children up to the age of 7, we don't have a conscious mind. We're all subconscious. And it's like everything that we learn, we are wide open to everything that we see and learn. And it all is like it just dumps into our mind like computer files. And so this is where limiting beliefs come from. And I had no idea. I just didn't realize. And so since then, I've taken many courses. CBT, cognitive behavior techniques, are amazing techniques to change the way that you see the world, the way you respond to stress, and come into self love and gratitude, and help other people to do that too.
Yeah, because that's one of the stories of or one of the great things I love to hear is the origin story about how you got to where you are today, right?
Mhm.
And we each have different journeys. And what I am finding out is that mindfulness is a very important part of your life. And you often don't think of that because, when you talk about, I've, learned about how important breathing is, right? Uh, but, breathing is something that we have to do to survive. And when I'm, doing my, when I should be doing my walks, or when I do my walks, when I'm, doing my comedy, when I'm speaking, you know, uh, it's the preparation that I need to learn more about, right? And I could see how, or I'm just asking you right now, mindfulness will it not prepare us for what we have ahead too?
Well, absolutely. And if you want, I can share a little story with that. And this was just recently. I have a local farm I live by. I go buy produce there. She's a wonderful young mother with two children. Um, but she advertises that she's open at 9 in the morning, and a lot of times she is not there when she says she's going to be. So some of the clients, they'll text her, "Oh, I'll be there in 20 minutes," and we're waiting out on the porch. And I'm a very, very time organized person. I've worked for myself my whole life, and I'm very structured in that way. And immediately I became kind of irritated. And where is she? Looking at my clock. I don't have time for this. I need to get back to work. Um, but I need these vegetables, and I want to buy the fresh bread, and she usually sells out, so I'm going to wait. And then she gets there, and of course, there's her two girls. They're always running barefooted around the farm. Very wholesome family. They have a cow. They sell their fresh milk and whatnot. And I started practicing mindfulness to overcome this irritated feeling, and I started breathing and I started relaxing. And then I came into this bird's eye view of, wow, that's very interesting that I look so irritated. What if I just started to relax? What if there's a lesson in this that I need to learn? And I said to myself, who cares if I don't go back to work for the next couple of hours? I'm going to see where this experience takes me, and what do I need to learn? And I asked her, I said, well, do you have any collard greens? Oh, yes, they're best when they're fresh. You want to come out to the garden with me? We'll go pick them. We'll go cut it. And so I walked out there through the mud with her and her two kids. They were stomping in the mud, all the chickens running around. Um, and I was talking to the girls. There were sunflowers. We talked about how the fairies lived under the sunflowers, and I got to see her big garden, and I had the most relaxing, wonderful 2 hours. I came into gratitude. I felt so extremely happy, and I had just the most wonderful day. And had it not been for mindfulness, I would have been probably stressed for a good part of the day. So it's changed
Exactly.
my life. Yeah, it can change. It can change your life.
Yeah. So we'll get into more mindfulness in a minute here, but thanks very much for that story, because I'm all about stories too. And it's nice to look back at how you started your business, how you started working with people, and then that shows the fact that you have been in their shoes as well. That you are practicing what you're teaching, right? So I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
And the first question I have for you is, what are the three core principles of mindfulness?
Yes, that's a great question. So, uh, many practitioners view mindfulness in a lot of different ways. Uh, Mindfulness has a lot to do with all of our senses. So, it could be mindful looking and staring at art, for example, listening, mindful listening. I like to think of aggressive listening, really honing in on what someone's saying, stepping into their shoes, having empathy for what they're talking about. We have mindful smell and taste. We can use this in intuitive eating, slowing down, paying attention to our health and our body as we chew food slowly. And I especially focus as a yoga instructor on breath. I think for people, it seems to be the easiest way to relax yourself when you focus on the breath because it immediately slows the body down. And so the first core principle in the practices that I teach is breath is the first one, to relax the body, to focus, to ask myself, how am I doing? What's going on? And then the second core principle is coming into kind of a wide lens angle view of non-judgment. So I kind of like to think of myself as a bird flying up in a tree, and observing down on myself, observing how am I reacting to things, and what kind of stress am I experiencing, and why, and just stepping back and just observing without any judgment. Um, and then the third core principle is gratitude. So shifting into being grateful, grateful for the people that you love in your life, grateful for your friends, grateful for the things that you have, your home, etc. Because when we're grateful, we can't have stress and gratitude at the same time. So when you practice these core principles, it changes the way that you perceive life. It changes the way that you perceive yourself and how you react to things. And it helps you to calm down and live in the moment. So it's a fabulous, wonderful way of coming out of stress. And yeah, it's just wonderful.
Because I would suggest every day, whether we really realize it or not, it's different levels of stress. We're always busy, and we often not take the time to look after ourselves too, right? Because you use the analogy of being on an airplane and the safety demonstration that you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first so you can help people. Because sure, you can help people right away, but then you might not be able to help after that, right? So taking that extra minute, 2 minutes, whatever, just to do the breathing. I know I have been doing that or have done that in the past, and I should do it more. But when I have done it, that has helped. Even in the morning, waking up, you're stressful of the day, just breathing and just starting the day that way, right? Or going for a walk, spending that time and going for a walk, even though I know there's things, on the desk that needs to be done anyways, right? It's kind of like, spending that time to be smarter with what you're doing, quality over quantity, and when you mention the word yoga, I do some stand-up comedy. So, it's something I've always wanted to do. I think I've done yoga once. Okay. I should do it more. Okay. But the whole laughing yoga, have you ever done laughing yoga before?
No, I haven't done that, but as a yoga instructor, I love to do gentle stretching, breathing, relaxing, and I also teach restorative yoga, which is calming the central nervous system, coming into comfortable poses for up to 3 to 5 minutes. And it's a type of mindfulness practice as well.
Yeah. Well, speaking of practice, we're going to go into a practice here. Can you just get us ready for the square breathing?
Yeah, so let me give you a little bit of background about what square breathing is. I love teaching this technique because it's actually very easy to use. And it's also used and taught by the Navy SEALs. They teach their enrollees, trainees, how to totally calm their body when they're very stressed. And, I think of we hunch over and we talk on the phone like this. We have our shoulders up to our ears. We're rounding forward and we stress our bodies out when we're stressed. And I always like to think of a string coming out the top of my head and lifting up, 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 sitting nice and tall, pulling the shoulders back, and then slow breathing. We need lots of oxygen. It nourishes our cells. And when we get stressed, we tend to hold our breath. And so slow breathing brings us to calmness, and it helps us to be able to kind of observe where we are. So if everyone wants to grab a pen and a paper, we could do some square breathing if you like.
Okay, so everyone get that pen and paper, and we're going to participate now in the square breathing.
Square breathing is a simple yet powerful breathwork technique that's used to enhance your mood and alleviate stress. Also known as box breathing, 4x4 breathing, and 4-part breath. It can help regulate your energy, deepen your connection with your body, calm your nervous system, and reduce stress levels. You want to be able to take deep breaths, so notice your posture, get grounded with your feet touching the floor, prepare yourself to relax and breathe. To deepen your awareness, you may want to consider the various layers of support beneath you, the chair supporting you, the floor supporting the chair. Maybe sit on a meditation cushion, or you could even lie down, gently clutching the steering wheel if driving. You can enhance your breathing practice with an intention or positive language or image. You might repeat words such as inhale relaxation, exhale stress. You may also like to focus on a neutral image such as a tree, or a positive image like your dog. By doing so, you can make your practice more engaging and authentic to your needs. Square breathing can help you manage stress, increase focus, and calm the mind. You can use it before responding to a high-stress situation, when trying to fall asleep, to reduce work-related stress, boost creativity, and most everyday activities. And of course, you can use it just as a daily relaxation technique. You don't have to be stressed to enjoy its benefits. It can also be used for manifestation, meditation, and affirmations. Here's a chart of how it looks. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold for 4 seconds. So grab a pen, let's draw a simple square. It helps to use your finger around the square for a time or two, so you can visualize counting the seconds around the box. So this is going to be a real simple little exercise. This is kind of like drawing stick figures. Nothing fancy here, but the reason I like to do a session of drawing the square is because we can practice counting the seconds. And a lot of times we tend to count faster because we don't breathe real slow naturally. And so let's just draw a very simple little box. It's going to be nothing fancy. And I'm going to write the words inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. And of course, before we begin, as in the slides mentioned, you want to become aware of your body. Are you stressed? Are you sitting in a chair where your feet can be flat on the ground? You can notice what you're sitting on. Or maybe you're driving. Are you clenching the steering wheel and you're hunching forward? Maybe you're at work and you're in a meeting and your shoulders are up to your ears and you're feeling stressed. So become aware of your body is the very first thing. Sit up nice and tall, pull that imaginary string out the head, bring the shoulders down away from the ears, bring the shoulders back and open the chest so that you can breathe and just relax. And just take a few breaths in this relaxed state. I like to inhale through my nose and exhale through my mouth. If that's comfortable for you, you can do it however you like. And I also like to focus on trying to make my breaths even. So slowly inhale through the nose and slowly exhale through the mouth. As I start to become aware of the the air coming in through my nostrils and then exhaling, coming out my throat, out my mouth. Feel the air, feel the oxygen. And whenever you're ready, we'll do 4 rounds for the 4 sides of the box. We're going to put our finger up here at the top and follow along with me. When you're ready, just exhale your oxygen and we'll inhale 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. Hold. Inhale 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. Hold. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold. 3, 4. Exhale. Hold. 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 3, 4. Exhale. 3 1,000, 4 1,000. Hold. 2, 3, and 4. And just start to come back to your natural rhythm of breathing. This is the very first step of mindfulness, to come into relaxed breath. Notice how you feel. Start asking yourself what's going on. How am I feeling? What am I dealing with? And slow down and just observe. And then we come into non-judgment and gratitude after that. So we'll continue on with the slides. I have a few more tips for you, so let's get back to that. So once you're comfortable counting and relaxing as you breathe, here are a few tips you might want to try. Place one hand on the chest and the other on the lower stomach can be calming. Feel the air coming into the nostrils and then leaving out the throat and mouth. Focus on experiencing an expansion in the stomach without straining the muscles to push out. Try to make your breathing consistent. In other words, don't whoosh the oxygen out. Also, if 4 seconds for each segment feels too long, you can decrease it to 2 to 3 seconds. I hope you find that to be super relaxing. Use it in everyday life, driving, cooking, showering, coffee drinking, at work, when interacting with people. Enjoy and happy breathing.
So we're back and we've just gone over or participated in the square breathing exercise. So Susanne, how can you use that in that exercise of square breathing in everyday mindfulness?
Well, one story that I really enjoy telling everyone, and I think so many people can relate to this, is mindful driving. And just a few months ago, I pulled out of my subdivision. I was headed to the gym to go teach a yoga class. And I immediately realized that traffic was backed up over this big, long bridge that I need to go over to get to the gym. And I normally would be very stressed and think, oh my goodness, I'm going to be late. I didn't plan on this extra time to sit here and wait. And I would have felt anxious for the whole drive. I would have, I'm sure, gotten to the gym on time, but by the time my class started, I'd still probably be stressed feeling. And in the past, when I struggled with negative thinking and the things that I've overcome and why I started my group, I would have probably been stressed all day long. So mindfulness totally changed my perception. And when I got into that traffic, I looked at the clock and I told myself I'm going to practice mindful breathing. And I did the mindful breathing and I became very calm and relaxed. I noticed how I was gripping the steering wheel and I loosened up. I told myself in the non-judgment view, I'm not going to be late. And if I'm a minute or two late, it's going to be okay. And then I went into gratitude and immediately just pulled myself out of that stress.
Well, I guess what comes to mind is driving instructors. Maybe you could, well, not maybe, you would be a great value to driving instructors and driving courses all around the world, because when you and I first got our first driver's license a few years ago, test driving is a lot different, I would suggest, right? And I guess I am need some work on my driving when someone in the fast lane is going the speed limit because they have to turn left at an intersection 5 miles or 10 miles ahead, right? And I just have to remember that that could be me in the future, so I have to do some mindfulness that with my eyes open, of course, while I'm driving. But that's an idea, for all you driving instructors out there watching or listening, or you have a child or a person that is going through driving school, Susanne Sharrard is the person to connect with, and you'll have her contact information later on in this video, or said verbally if you are listening to the podcast. So yeah, and is there any other everyday living that you could events in the day, that you could be using mindfulness?
Well, mindfulness can be used throughout most all activities during your day, from waking up, before you even get out of bed, just relax breathing, coming into non-judgment gratitude. What is your day going to be like, before you even get out of bed? Mindful brushing your teeth, getting dressed, cooking breakfast, making coffee, mindful coffee drinking. It's just slowing down and paying attention, and noticing how you feel. And again, that non-judgment is a very interesting perspective on how are you thinking and how are you reacting. And gratitude always changes our life and brings so much joy and happiness to us. So
Yeah. So I dabble in the music world as a singer-songwriter, even though I can't write music. But I do the lyrics and I sing. And I'm an author, I've written a book before. So if I say something like the word art, okay, if I look back at my grade 8 art class, okay, I believe I passed. That's a few years ago. But let's just say I'm not an artist, okay? Even though art, just like many other things, are subjective, okay? But how could I or one of our viewers or listeners utilize mindfulness in art?
So one of the things that I teach is mindful doodling. And we think of doodling as kind of it doesn't take any thought. You're just mindlessly doing scribbling, but scribbling and doodling are quite different. Scribbling is erratic lines all over the page with no purpose. And mindful doodling, we can connect to our subconscious partially, and we can give ourselves suggestions and change our perception. By slowing down, you could do a mindful doodling. What does next year look like? A pathway to next year look like for you, for example? How would you draw that? And that takes no skill. I like to bring up examples and show my students different ways that you can doodle, but it's circles and it's squares and it's simple shapes. So that's just one example of how you can bring mindfulness art into art.
Yeah, well, don't forget to bring out those crayons that we used to play with when we were kids, right? So So, Susanne, you have a soul fuel mindfulness formula that you'd like to make available to our viewers and listeners today. So, if you could talk a little bit about that, and then also the 30-day challenge that's included in that.
Yes, so it's a great little ebook for you that covers a 30-day challenge of easy, simple, mindful practices that you can do on a daily basis. And I like 30 days because that's a great number to start a new habit with.
Mhm.
Also, it includes a body scan for relaxation. It goes over those three core principles and what mindfulness is. And it also has a 7-day, 3 times a day mindful affirmations that you can practice. I'm a big fan of affirmations. I think that they are can change your life. And so I love the affirmation part of the workbook too.
Okay, and we, as for viewers and listeners, will have the information below on how to get access to the ebook and the formula, the Soul Fuel Mindfulness formula, and that's ebook, correct, Susanne?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and also the challenge as well. So one of the things I have, or the thing that I have, is the Moolavi journal. So when you talk about gratitude, this is a quarterly journal, and it talks about or discusses your goals, your dreams, and your gratitude, because I believe that all those go together. Without your dreams and your goals, your dreams and your gratitude, those will influence your goals. And your goals will create, hopefully, fulfill dreams and include gratitude in your life. So that is a download. I'll have the information below. It's called the Moolavi Journal, and Moolavi stands 2 words put together. Moola is money, and la vie is c'est la vie en français, or based on that. And so Moolavi, living your life and money on purpose. Because as a financial planner, I firmly believe the working together of life and money together. And this is one way that I get my students and those that I work with to engage in something that will hopefully influence the financial plan that they want to have, so they can live their life and money on purpose. So that will be below the contact information for that. And Susanne, thanks again for your time. All the best in the work that you do, and I hope that there are many listeners and viewers here that will take you up on your download and the ebook and the challenge. And I will also have your contact information below as well. So thanks again, Susanne, and have a, can I say, mindful day.
Yes, thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye.
you.